Today, an unexpected moment caught the attention of soldiers from different countries. A well-known German officer named Lucas, famous for his strength in metals, made a bold statement that shocked everyone around him. During a hot morning training session, Lucas stood in the middle of the field and loudly challenged any Filipino commando to face him. His voice carried across the entire camp, and soldiers stopped what they were doing to listen. At first, no one knew how the Filipino team would react. They were calm and quiet, simply watching him. Then one man stepped forward. His name was Matthew, a Filipino commando known for being quiet, fast, and very skilled. He didn't make a big speech. He simply said 2 words: challenge accepted. Those 2 words changed the whole atmosphere. Lucas thought the challenge would be easy. He believed his years of training made him stronger than anyone else. But he was about to learn something he did not expect. The first challenge was a strength course. Soldiers had to carry heavy sandbags across a muddy field full of obstacles. Lucas rushed forward quickly, showing off his speed. At first, he gained a big lead. Matthew, however, lifted his sandbag calmly and jogged at a slow and steady pace. As Lucas became tired from the heat and the thick mud, Matthew kept moving smoothly. Little by little, he caught up and passed Lucas. The crowd fell silent as Matthew finished first. He calmly placed his sandbag down, as if it was nothing unusual. Lucas tried to hide his frustration, but it was clear his pride was hurt. For the second challenge, targets were placed at many distances, near, far, moving, and even hidden. Lucas went first and shot very well, earning loud applause. Then Matthew stepped up. He didn't take long. He simply breathed in, breathed out, and fired. Every single bullet hit the center of the target. Even the farthest and moving targets were hit perfectly. Some people whispered that it didn't even seem possible. Lucas was shocked. He had spent years training, yet Matthew made shooting look effortless. Even after losing twice, Lucas refused to quit. The next test was hand-to-hand speed inside a wooden ring. The rule was simple. Whoever was pushed out first would lose. The field went silent as the match began. Lucas attacked fast, but Matthew moved even faster. He dodged every strike like he was made of air. Lucas tried again and again, throwing combinations of punches, but Matthew slipped past all of them. Then, with one simple, balanced movement, he tapped Lucas's chest and used Lucas's own rush of momentum to push him out of the ring. The crowd gasped. Lucas stood outside the circle, confused, not even sure how he had lost so quickly. Matthew only said one word: balance. Even after losing 3 times, Lucas asked for one more test. The final one was jungle navigation. Both men had to travel into the thick jungle, find hidden markers, and return using instincts alone. The jungle was hot, humid, and difficult. Lucas struggled through vines, mud, and heavy air. Every step exhausted him. Matthew, on the other hand, moved through the jungle like he understood it completely. He found markers easily and returned more than an hour before Lucas. When Lucas finally came back, tired and muddy, he saw Matthew sitting calmly, already drinking water. When Lucas finally returned from the harsh jungle terrain, tired and struggling for breath, he saw Matthew waiting calmly. But what happened next became one of the most talked about moments during the training mission. Even though Lucas had lost all 4 tests, he refused to walk away defeated. His pride was hurt, but something else had grown inside him, a strong determination not to give up. Many soldiers watching wondered if he would walk away in anger. Instead, he stepped forward and spoke clearly, saying he wanted another chance to prove himself. But before another test could happen, something unexpected occurred. Matthew, instead of bragging or acting superior, quietly offered Lucas a bottle of water. This simple act shocked many people around them. After all the challenges, Matthew still showed nothing but respect. Lucas accepted the water gratefully, and in that moment, he saw Matthew differently, not just as a fast and skilled commando, but as someone with real discipline and humility. From that point on, the mood around the training field began to shift. Soldiers from both Germany and the Philippines noticed a change in Lucas. His voice no longer carried the same confident edge. Instead, He seemed calmer, more thoughtful, and more aware of the strength of people around him. Videos of the challenges had already started spreading online. More and more soldiers were checking their phones during breaks, watching replays of Matthew's incredible speed and control. The clips showed Lucas trying his hardest, while Matthew moved with quiet confidence. But the videos that gained the most attention were not the ones showing Matthew winning. It was a clip of Matthew helping Lucas after the jungle test that went viral. People commented that the moment showed what a true soldier should be: disciplined, respectful, and humble even in victory. What happened between the two men had already traveled far beyond the training field. By the next day, Lucas approached Matthew again. But this time, it wasn't for a challenge. It was for something completely different. Lucas spoke softly, with no sign of pride or competition. He said two simple words: "Teach me." This surprised many soldiers who watched the scene unfold. One day earlier, Lucas had been the one making loud announcements and bold challenges. Now, he stood quietly, asking for guidance. Matthew didn't hesitate. He simply nodded, accepting Lucas's request without judgment. The two men walked off together toward the training area, ready to begin something new, not a fight, but a lesson. For the rest of the mission, the two soldiers trained side by side. They came from different backgrounds with different strengths, but something powerful formed between them: a deep respect. Matthew taught Lucas how to move with awareness, how to stay balanced, and how to read the environment more carefully. Lucas, on the other hand, shared his own experience, his knowledge about strategy, discipline under pressure, and long-range planning. Day after day, the training camp watched as the two men worked together, learning from each other instead of competing. Soldiers whispered about the strange but inspiring partnership that had grown from what was once a heated challenge. Their cooperation became one of the highlights of the whole mission, showing that strength isn't just about winning. It's also about learning, adapting, and respecting others. As the mission continued, word spread quickly across the camp about the unusual partnership between the two soldiers. Teams from other countries noticed how focused they had become. Every morning, Lucas could be seen practicing the techniques Matthew showed him, moving more quietly, reacting faster, and paying closer attention to his surroundings. Meanwhile, Matthew listened carefully whenever Lucas explained advanced strategies and new ways to approach difficult situations. Their teamwork soon started influencing other soldiers too. People who once only cared about showing off their skills began to focus more on discipline, respect, and learning from one another. Instructors said the atmosphere across the entire training camp had changed, becoming more cooperative and competitive. Outside the camp, something unexpected was happening. Videos of the challenges continued to spread across the internet, gaining millions of views. News outlets from different countries reported on the story, calling it an example of true sportsmanship and humility. People admired the surprising bond between the two soldiers. Many said the story showed that real strength wasn't just about winning, it was about character. Even young students and athletes began watching the clips online, inspired by the way both men behaved under pressure. But Matthew never acted like a celebrity. He stayed as quiet and focused as always, even though his name was spreading across social media and news channels around the world. As the mission neared its final days, both soldiers continued pushing themselves. Lucas improved faster than anyone expected, and instructors were amazed at the changes in his movements, balance, and reactions. Some soldiers said it was like watching a completely different version of him. Matthew remained steady and calm, always focused, always disciplined. He trained hard, but never tried to draw attention to himself. Yet every person who watched him, even for a few minutes, understood why he had earned so much respect. Rumors began spreading that a special joint exercise would take place before the mission officially ended. No one knew what the exercise would involve, but soldiers whispered that it might be the most difficult challenge of the entire training program, one that would test teamwork more than skill. Both Matthew and Lucas were chosen to take part in it. And even though the details were still secret, one thing was clear: this final event would be nothing like any of the earlier tests. On the night before the event, instructors called a private meeting with the chosen soldiers. Matthew and Lucas were seen walking toward the command tent together. But then, something strange happened. The lights inside the tent suddenly went out. Voices were heard shouting. Soldiers rush toward the command area, and at this moment, sources say something unexpected occurred inside the tent. Something that could change the entire course of the mission. Like, share, and subscribe for more.